Hello? Hold on. No. Oh my gosh. Why? Why is Instagram like this? Yeah, I'm gonna get this right one day because this cannot be like Instagram be playing with me, y'all. Hello, everyone. Happy Financially Lit Tuesday. Give me 1 second, you all. Just getting things on the Instagram here. Because it likes to act crazy. Right. Okay. Hello. Okay. There we go. Oh, all right. My bad, y'all. Like per usual, Instagram want to act crazy. Oh, my gosh. All right. Gotcha. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Financially Lit Tuesday. Back at it again tonight. We're going to be talking about new tax laws, things that changed from the previous tax year to this year, right? Things to look out for. Of course, you all know that you should be going to a knowledgeable tax preparer, tax professional this year. You don't want to go to your regular cliches. You probably even want to stay away from following it yourself. There has been quite a few changes. Hello, Little Wing 011. Hello. Hey, everyone on Facebook. Um, Go ahead and hit a like so I can see who's viewing. So yes. So of course, per usual, if you have any questions while I'm speaking, go ahead and comments. And then throughout it, let me know you're engaged. Let me know you're here. Go ahead and comment, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go over a few tax law changes that happened from previous tax year to this tax year to look out for, right? So like I was saying, this year of any tax year, you want to make sure that you go into a knowledgeable tax professional. Like, you don't want to go to your cliches. You don't want to even like deal with TurboTax this year, right? You want to make sure that the person knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. If they don't bring out what I'm about to go over with y'all tonight, then you just gonna like take your documents and walk away because you really want to make sure that you are following your taxes correctly, right? There's been quite a few changes, so I'm gonna make y'all aware of that. Another thing I'm going to touch on is some tips. For starters, I just got off the phone with someone, right? So they gave me a call. They reached out and they said, "Hey, um, can we get on a phone call? Like I would like to speak to you about something." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, rockin' steady. I hear that loud and clear." Right, yes. So yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, let's hop on a phone call. And then we get on a phone call and they're pitching to me. They want me to join their cryptocurrency team, right? Without understanding what I do in business. If you're gonna pitch to somebody, this is a small business tip. If you're pitching to somebody, a potential client, a potential mentee or whatever relationship that you want to build, you want to make sure that you actually know some information about the person, because a quick scroll down my timeline would have told him that I'm in the middle of tax season right now. I'm not looking to join a cryptocurrency team, and that could have saved us, both of us, time that we both couldn't waste being on a phone call. So that's a tip that I want to give out, that you want to make sure that you kind of have an idea. A quick scroll down on Facebook, on Instagram's timeline, you'll be able to tell, okay, a little more about that person. Yes, I'm in the financial industry. Of course, I'll love to teach people financial literacy, different ways they can achieve generational wealth, of course. But do I look like I want to sit behind videos and books and things like that right now to learn cryptocurrency? I'm in the middle of a season. So yeah, I just had to let y'all know. Right? Little Wing said no doubt. Like, it's crazy. Okay. So for starters, let's go ahead and get popping because I know y'all are ready to hear like what these changes are, right? So for one, if you didn't receive the stimulus yet, Do not like go frantic or anything. If you're like, oh, I should have received the stimulus, I didn't get my money. Uh-uh. Calm down, calm down. Put the fist down. It's all right. No need to fight anyone. So you still can claim for it on your tax return. So if you're doing like both years, so you want to make sure that you have both the one that the first stimulus and the second stimulus when you file for your 2020 tax return. So make sure it is selected, right? Make sure your tax professional knows. Even though you should be coming to Grand Rev Financial, but for some odd reason, say you don't come to Grand Rev, at least you know. Right? So the tax day is still April 15th, but the season does not start until February 12th. Now, there is a high chance of them extending the deadline because it's such a short window, but as of now, it's cut off April 15th. You better have your taxes paid, you better have an extension filed, or whatever you need to do to make sure IRS has their money or an extension. What if you didn't receive due to change of address? Okay, so if you didn't receive due to a change of address, you can actually you still go ahead and file it through the system when you file your tax return, but you do well, it's the window's closed to go ahead and make the edit. But you could have went in on the IRS website and updated that information. But now it's too late because they're no longer sending out stimulus checks or credits or rebates. They're no longer doing that. So you have to go ahead and file it through your tax return, which is why they're extending the the window. Why they're starting so late. They're starting so late because they want to make sure people that say, "Hey, I didn't receive the stimulus," that they don't send it to them while they're when it's still on the way. Or they're waiting for everybody to cash their check, everybody to receive their check, and then that's when they want to go ahead and open the window for a submission. So that's what they're saying the delay is for. She said the second one, I believe but I believe I did actually. Is it possible to attain it when I file my taxes? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hello, blackpack.gop. Hello, hello. So yes, absolutely. The other change, of course, there is an increase in standard deduction. So it's a small increase, but it's still a little something, right? Standard deduction increased about $400. So the standard deduction for individuals is 12,400, and then the standard deduction for married couples, married filing jointly, is at 24,800. So definitely, if you're not itemizing, right? Question, right? So when do you itemize? When do you do an itemized return? Should I be itemizing? So you want to look into itemizing if you had like high medical bills. Maybe you have a house that you did some renovations to. You added solar panels or all new energy efficient windows, and they're over the standard deduction. So if you spent $30,000 on medical, on home improvements, whatever the case may be, then you can do an itemized. But you want to make sure that it's over the standard deduction. So if you're an individual and you spent more than 12,400 uh, on medical expenses, dental expenses, maybe house, like I said, solar panels, all that good stuff, then you can go ahead and itemize. Anything under that, you don't want to add an itemized form because you're basically just paying the taxpayer more money for filing an additional form when you don't need it because you're going to end up taking the standard deduction anyway, right? Okay, and let me know if y'all have any questions. Definitely, I know y'all on Facebook be shy sometimes. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to share it. Okay, but while that's coming up slowly but surely, brackets. So we of course I do want to also put this out there that under the Biden administration the tax margins will change, so beware of that. So if you are certain taxes were lower during the Trump administration for a certain income bracket, so you do want to check what bracket you're going to fall in under. if you know that you're a relatively higher income earner, right? Um, and if you are, like, go ahead and reach out to Grand Rev and make sure that, or start a hobby. What is a tax margin? So it's like essentially like tax brackets of where how much it tells you how much taxes you would have to pay based on the amount of money you make. So it's a bracket system. So the first 10%, if you're within if you're within a certain income bracket, like under $10,000, you only get taxed 10%. And then if you made like $50,000, then you fall under the 22% bracket and everything underneath there. So all income from $0 to $10,000 is that 10%. And I'm giving rough numbers right now. Income between 10,000 and 40,000 is at 12%. Income from 40,000 to 150 is at 22%. So it goes like that. Um, Hopefully that answered your question, Little Wing. All right. Okay. Awesome. So yes, you do want to. I'm just making sure I look onto my notes, so I'm hitting on the good stuff. Um, Another thing you do, so charitable contributions. So previously you could only deduct certain charitable contributions up to, like, I think if it's cash contribution, you could only do like 60% of it, right? I mean, if it's non-cash, then you could only deduct 60% of it. But now going because of the CARES Act, you can do it 100%. So you can write off 100% of a charitable, a cash charitable contribution or a non-cash charitable contribution, versus like the bracket of 60%, 80%, and 100%. Now you can just write it all off. Also, there is a I'll get to that because I want to make sure I'm following. Okay. And then I don't know if anyone out there that have medical expenses, but if you do, the deduction for medical expenses have increased as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that if you are itemizing your tax return. And I just went over when you should itemize. So if you are itemizing, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing it correctly, or you have somebody like Grand Med Financial doing it correctly for you. But you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that. That it's and now it's above that 7.5% of the AGI, of the adjusted gross income. So it kind of helps out, a little more. Um, Now for people that receive the PPP, EIDL, um, those people that receive those proceeds, that for my business owners out there, you can go ahead and still write off those expenses that you've incurred and paid for using the proceeds from the PPP. So the money that you had from the PPP and you paid whatever with, you can kind of you can write that off on your tax return too. So it's a write off and it's basically free money if you did the forgiveness for the PPP. So definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Also, for my business owners, there is the reemployment tax credit that you can go ahead and take advantage of. Now that credit is available for our employers that have employees, meaning W-2 employees, right? Not, oh, I just transfer money and back and forth between my accounts. This is you went and you came to Grand Rev and you was like, hey, I need payroll, right? Or anyone else, and you actually have a payroll system, you can go ahead and take advantage of that, right? Um, Make sure. Yeah, I'll be having to breathe. Hold on. Okay. Um, I talked on the stimulus. If y'all received the stimulus, I definitely touched on that. PPP people, unemployment. This is big, right? Because so many people received unemployment. If you received unemployment, you know somebody that have as well. Definitely want to pay attention to this. So when it comes to unemployment, you do want to you do have to wait for that 1099-G to come in, right? So that form is going to come in and it's going to tell you how much money you received in unemployment. And if you didn't have any taxes removed out of your unemployment while you were getting that compensation, you would then have to pay, taxes on that amount. So definitely make sure that you are following with that. Also, anyone that still has the marketplace health insurance or Obamacare, for anyone that has it, you do want to make sure that you are giving it to your tax professional. Because I had a couple of clients that came up to me, they're like, "Oh shoot, I didn't file with it," and now the IRS is asking for it, and it delays their refund, and it changes your numbers. So make sure you're waiting on, if you have marketplace insurance or Obamacare, um, and you received unemployment, that you're waiting on those forms before you file, because it will delay your tax refund, and it will change your numbers as well. So what you thought was your refund won't be when, if you're missing those documents. All right. Okay. Retirement, for my people that took out retirement in 2020, because the penalty, you were no longer getting penalized, right? That penalty was removed in 2020 for people that needed essentially to take out their retirement to keep moving, to keep surviving essentially. So you do want to make sure that you're following with the form, right? It's going to be a SE. Um, no, it's not an SE form. Look, it's one of the forms. Okay, y'all. There's a lot of um, but yes, the IRA, whether it's an IRA account or a 401k account that you took the money out of, you aren't getting penalized if you took it out in 2020 because of the pandemic, but you do still have to pay taxes on that income if it wasn't a Roth IRA account. Okay. Um, okay. I think that's it for retirement. What any questions? Any questions? I know I'm moving a little fast. I'm gonna take a little breather. And any questions? I'm giving a lot of information here. Hello, motherly by nature. Okay. So, for my people that are independent contractors, previously you were receiving a 1099 MISC, 1099 miscellaneous, right? And you're probably used to it, but your form it will most likely come back differently this year. Hey Matthew, so if you are a 1099 independent contractor, you're most likely going to receive a 1099 NEC. So definitely we want to be aware of that form, because it will look a little different, because maybe you're used to receiving a 1099 miscellaneous and having a number in box 7, but now it will be in box 1 and it'll be on a 1099 NEC. So definitely making sure that you're aware of that and you're not puzzled if that is the case. Hey Matthew, did you have any questions for me, tax related, anything like that? Everyone on Facebook, let me know if you have any questions, tax related. Definitely here to answer any questions that you may have. And I'm kind of like running through this information. Mm-hmm. No, no, no. All right. What else can I go over? Tips. Small business tips. The 1040 Easy look much different this year. Why? Okay, yeah. So it looks different because of the changes I kind of went over already. But because there has been changes. There has been changes. They have the economic the stimulus rebate on their change. They have they have the retirement change. They have a few changes that makes the form look a tad bit different. And that's on the EZ and the regular 1040. So it's a little longer, meaning like, by a couple of questions. But that's why, to account for the pandemic stuff that was introduced in the CARES Act. It's loading. It always goes so slowly whenever I'm live. Mm. Another thing as well is the estate tax or gifts. So that giving gifts up to $15,000, you can give a gift up to $15,000, right? And that person, or receive a gift up to $15,000 and not have to pay, the taxes on that. So that is something that you can also take advantage as well. So, not having to pay those taxes on gifts. My TurboTax filed it out with last year information. How can I undo it? Your TurboTax already filed your 2020 tax return? Hey, Tamara. I know there's a delay as far as when the question actually comes in. Hey, Matthew, the TurboTax already filed your 2020 tax return? I was trying to file it, but it used the information that was there before. I could put this. Yeah, as far as TurboTax, I don't like TurboTax. I hate the software. But you should be able to reach out to them and then see like what exactly happened, because yes, the IRS is allowing us to submit tax returns right now. Um, but their official window doesn't open until the 12th. So even though they're allowing us to submit some returns, not all of them, it's like on a very light load, just so they can kind of work out their kinks. So they're allowing us to do a little bit of tax filing. So they may be able to submit the tax return. So you definitely want to check with TurboTax to see if it actually went through or anything, um, and check that out. But yeah, I don't really know too much about TurboTax because they're very basic software. And there's also savers credit. So for the people that are, putting money away from their to their retirement, the more you put in, you can receive up to $1,000 for basically saving for your retirement. So the more you save, the more they're like, okay, here's a credit. So they'll give you that a percentage of your contribution towards your retirement savings, your IRA or your 401k. Yeah, absolutely, Matthew. Use this next time. um, yeah, I really don't like TurboTax. It's like H&R Block. They use like a basic template and then that's it. But it's very restricting. The other thing, yeah. So those are the big changes. I don't want to figure out with a lot of like random tax stuff. I can answer direct questions if y'all have any like tax questions or issues that you're going through, or maybe somebody was talking about in the past or recently that I can address. So definitely want to touch on those. Any questions? Um, I hit on like the big stuff, y'all. And of course, if y'all have any questions throughout this time, feel free to reach out. I do the free 15-minute consultations. This is a phone call. If you have any questions, I don't mind addressing any questions that y'all have. I know it gets busy. I know I get busy. But I'll definitely, if you have a consultation booked with me, I'll definitely make sure that I'm on the call and I answer any questions that you have during that time. So feel free to book that dang call if you have any questions. Absolutely. And before, like if you're like, hey, maybe I don't want to do Grand Rep this year, and you still have questions, no hard feelings. I rather, I answer your questions and and you have the right answers versus you going out into the world and it's a mess and you're like, oh well, I had no one to help me. um, yeah, gift tax and donate 60% of AGI. And then make sure y'all doing your W-4 forms. They do look different. Um, uh, let's see. For student loan interest deduction, you can deduct up to $2,500 in interest payments. So for those of you that was taking advantage of paying off your loans last year, definitely make sure that you're doing that interest deduction. Um, but it really only helps if you're doing an itemized return, honestly. Um, that's it, y'all. Yeah. I have no more questions. I'll go ahead and buzz off, and then if y'all can go ahead and reach out to me if anything. Um, definitely feel free to refer anyone to Grand Rev Financial. We do a referral bonus, $25 for individuals, $50 for businesses, and then if 4 of your referrals file with us, you get your tax prepared for free. So you could definitely take advantage of that. Refer 4 and get filed for free, or refer and then you can do the $50 referral bonus. But yeah, y'all, that is all for tonight. Get some work done. I'll see y'all later. Good night, good night, good night. Hello, Miss Davis. Um, I know I'm about to hop off right now, but if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm sure we've been in contact. Hello, Mahogany Williams. Oh yeah, hopping on so late. I am about to go ahead and close off the live. I will post the live on the page so you can definitely take a look at it. If you have any tax related questions, feel free, like I said, to book a consultation. The link is in the bio. And then even if you're like, hey, I'm faithful, I'm absolutely loyal to the tax professional I have now, and you have some questions that you want to answer, or you're not sure if you want to go a Grand Rev, you can always ask, whatever tax questions, email us, book a call, whatever the case may be, so that we can address your concerns. But that is it. Y'all have an amazing evening. Enjoy your nights. I'm gonna get some work done and get some rest. And see y'all next Tuesday. Next Tuesday does begin our relationship and money series. This week. I'll release the schedule for that so that y'all know what's coming up all the Tuesdays in February. So it will be relationships and money. I'm excited for it. I kind of been waiting on this moment. The topics are going to be great. But I will see y'all later. Good night.